All right, friends, welcome back to the channel. My name is Bo, and I am so excited to go over our latest interior design projects in Ferndale, Michigan. So I was brought in to design this full home, or somewhat full home, and we designed the living room, dining room, the kitchen, and 3 bathrooms. Oh, and the foyer, and then the garage loft. So a lot of really amazing spaces, and I cannot wait to show you what we created for my clients. So I'm gonna start this tour with the foyer. And so before any of my YouTube friends come at me, my clients are starting their landscaping project. So you might hear a little bit of noise here and there while I walk through the space. So this is where you enter the house. And for me, I always love to create a space where you can toss your keys, drop your coat, drop your bag. And we went with a custom entry table with this really funky metal sign that we incorporated into the doors. I love taking old signs and reimagine them into furniture, and I think it makes just a very punchy first expression, especially when you enter your house. And then when it comes to the details, of course, I love having a mirror. This one, I cannot remember where we got it from, but it has this really funky metal frame, which of course I love texture. So I'm trying to incorporate it subtly in a lot of different spaces. And then this is probably one of my favorite sconces. I am so jealous and excited for my client to have these. This is from the Amber Lewis collection. And again, it has that texture because it is brass, but if you can tell, it has this crazy patina to it, which I think just adds, again, that extra kind of special magic to the space. So when I first got brought into the job, they had an architect that had all of the layout of the rooms. But there was one thing that I felt like that was missing in the foyer, and it was more storage. So I came up with a solution of bringing out this wall so it meets the staircase and adding a coat closet, which is extremely clutch, especially when you have children and a lot of things. So these are antique doors that we modified, painted this high gloss black, and then we added vintage hardware for that special jewelry. And again, storage is everything, especially when it comes to entering and leaving your house, because most likely when we come home, we're probably holding a bag or two. So the saying is true, the kitchen is the heart of the home, and I am so excited about this particular kitchen. I've designed a decent amount of kitchen in my career, but this one is so fun, and let me tell you the reason why. When we first started this project, my client really, her words was, I want a fun, eclectic, cozy space. And so that's why we went with a lot of rich tones. And even though the cabinets are white, because we also wanted this place to be clean, we went with a really fun marble. So we got this at Sia. I completely forgot the name, so don't judge me. I will link it in the description. And we decided to do not only the island and the countertops, but the backsplash using the same material. And it really just adds that texture and the drama that really makes this kitchen like that. So going into the details of the custom island that our team builds, I really wanted to add some open shelves. So I love being able to display bowls, plants, and of course all of our cookbooks. So on this side of the island, we nestled in a space for the bar stools, and then we also added 2 open shelves for all of the decor. But what I really love about this custom island is that we also created space for more drawers as well as some appliances. So we integrated the microwave and as well as a mini bar, which I love, and I'm also jealous that I don't have one. And it really just makes this kitchen so multifunctional. So when it comes to the jewelry of the kitchen, we did a mix of chrome and brass hardware. So for all of the lower and the upper cabinets, we went with chrome. We also went with a chrome faucet, which I love so much. And then for the island, which we, Woodward Throwbacks, custom made, we made it out of salvage oak, and we paired it with the brass hardware. So there's a really fun balance of warmth and coolness. And I think especially again with the island, it's just like a really fun combination. So I'm a really big cook and I feel like my clients are too. So I wanted to make sure that this moment that's happening here in the range was impactful. So for our range hood, this is actually custom made, as well as this really awesome shelf that's behind me. We commissioned this particular piece from a local fabricator, Donut Shop Boys. What's up, Ian and Jake? I love them, I love their work. I've worked with them a couple times, but this is my first time collaborating with them on a kitchen project. So this is completely custom. We went with rounded corners just to bring a little bit more softness to the space. And then for the texture, I had them blacken the steel and I had no idea how it was gonna come out, but I absolutely love it. And then specially paired with our custom shelving unit, I mean, it's the ultimate vibe. This home kind of has an open concept in a sense of the kitchen and the dining room share the same space. And for me, I like to find rooms, even when it comes to open concepts. So not only does it divide the two spaces, but it's functional as their bar. Because, I mean, bar carts are cool, but like real bars, it's where it's at. So coming off from the kitchen, we are now in the dining room. And if you haven't noticed, your girl loves a banquette. So this is also a WT original. We built this banquette all out of salvage oak, which we stained a dark brown to match the kitchen island. And this time around, we added some upholstery. So this upholstery actually was made by a local designer, Mother Cyborg, Diane. You crushed it. I really love the fabric. I love the design. Fabric is actually from Louisville, Georgia, but you know, she put a lot of work into creating this particular space. And then we actually got these really awesome bars, I believe from Etsy, which is kind of cool, because I wanted the back cushion to feel like it was floating. And it also, since it's made of metal, has that same patina as our custom metal shelf and range hood. So when it comes to the actual dining room table, again, I love contrast. So this is a custom table, WT made out of salvage ash. And this table is a hybrid of our Art Deco and our Big John dining room table. I wanted to kind of go with the black theme that we have that's kind of throughout the house. There's kind of black, you know, speckled about because I feel like it really grounds the space. And so we went with 3 black dining room chairs, also made out of ash, and I love them because the texture of the wood really shines through. And of course, we had to get some really fun art for this space. There's something about having the same color, so the walls are white, the art is white, but it's like the texture in the art just really makes it, it's subtle, but it's impactful. So when it comes to lighting, I love sourcing vintage as well as new. So for the kitchen, we went with some new lighting. I have 2 favorite brands right now. I love Rejuvenation, but I also love Schoolhouse. So with Rejuvenation, we got these amazing island lights. The one thing I really love about their brand is that you can actually customize the height, which is very, very clutch. And then for Schoolhouse, we went with their sconces. And I feel like when you are incorporating lighting into your home, you need a balance of floor lamps, table lamps, sconces, as well as drop-down pendants, because no one really likes to use the big light. Trust me, do not just only use the big light. You want to create a vibe, and sconces as well as pendants will do that for you. And then for the dining room lights, I'm really excited because these are vintage. So I always say when sourcing for lights, definitely check out your local antique store. But if you're like me and you have something specific in mind, First Dibs is the way to go. So I searched industrial lighting, and these ones came all the way from Europe, and they came in like a week, which is pretty fabulous. I love the glossy black enamel look that helps add contrast to the space. So adjacent from the dining room, we now enter the living room. So what I love about this space is the heights of the ceiling. When we decided to open this up, I really wanted to add warmth. And to accomplish that, we decided to clad it with white oak, which is actually similar to the flooring. We also decided to add in some skylights. The amount of light just pouring in just brought the space to the next level when it comes to lights, bright, and that airy aesthetic. I really wanted to create a space for the family, which they have 2 kids, to gather, watch TV, play games. And so the color palette of this entire project is really moody, and I wanted to take all the colors that we place throughout the house into this single space. So starting with the furniture, really excited about this sectional that we got from Design Within Reach. The fabric really kind of hits the mark of really earthy, will hide all of the stains because their kids are 6 and I believe 8. And then we got this really beautiful gold rug from Benji Rugs, which definitely was a splurge for this project, but as you can tell, I'm barefoot. It just feels so good. When you're designing and bringing in pieces into your home, you definitely want to pick and choose where to splurge. And I think rugs, especially when it comes to sitting on it, you know, being barefoot, I think that's definitely an area where you want to spend a little bit more on that budget. But my favorite piece in this entire living room, besides the fireplace, which I'll get to, is this coffee table. So this coffee table, I know my client was, I need storage because they play a lot of games. And so I actually found this from one of my friends who's a dealer in Pittsburgh. And immediately when I saw it, I was like, this will be perfect for the project. It has the texture, it has the patina, and it also has the storage opportunities. So believe it or not, there's a latch, which I'm struggling right now. Hold on. Sorry, Rachel. I gave you the most complicated coffee table. And we put these hydraulic arms, so, because this is vintage, so she's a little heavy, so it's a lot easier for, you know, them to open, and their kids can also open it too. They might struggle actually physically opening it, but you know, the hydraulic arms, it's pretty clutch. And then the other thing that I really love about this particular coffee table is that it reads Camp Breckenridge, which is very iconic because their street is called Breckenridge. And so as soon as my client saw it, she was just like, yeah, we have to have this. So for the fireplace, really excited about this moment because one, I love fireplaces, and we decided to go with this dark green from Clay Tile. So it's a gellige. I love all of the texture, and I feel like, I mean, as you can see, when the light hits it, it really just creates this warm and very inviting, like, come here and sit. Speaking of sitting, we decided to add a bench because I figured when they're entertaining, it's one of those things where you can sit down, you can talk to people on the sofa, so it's multi-purpose, and I think it just looks really great. And then of course they went with the picture frame TV, which if you have a fireplace or you want to add a TV on it, get the picture frame because, I mean, how cute is this art? So this is our first floor powder room, which if you're doing a renovation and you do not have a bathroom on the first floor for all your guests, you need to put one in. So I believe that powder rooms is an opportunity to get a little moody, a little funky. So we went with this deep plum color called Capitania, which I'm totally saying wrong. And I love the fact that we not only painted the walls, we also painted the ceiling. And to add that texture, we added a beadboard finish. One of the things I do love about this space is the custom vanities that our team made, also made out of white oak. I don't know if you can tell, there's a white oak theme happening around here, but the real star of this bathroom is the countertops. So these are made out of remnant stone. And when I went to the stone yard, I literally locked eyes and I was like, you're going into my plum bathroom. And yeah, it just adds a little fun, little pop of color. I think it's pretty great. And of course, to complement it, we went with chrome faucets as well as chrome sconces, and then this really fun and funky mirror from Lulu and Georgia, which again, it's the squiggles. I mean, it's cute. So welcome to the children's bathroom. I'm not gonna lie, this is the first bathroom that I designed for the little people. My challenge was to design a space that was still fun, but classic, because of course we all get older. So we decided to go with a checkered tile from Clay Tile. And we went with a neutral palette. So it's a bone as well as a white, and it adds that really nice subtle contrast that I think will stand the test of time. We also went with a similar tile, which is also made out of cement in that same bone color, but in this time we did a 2x6 format, which I think is so fun. So when it comes to the vanity, this is also a custom piece, and we decided to go with a floating vanity because this space is a little bit on the petite side, and adding something that's floating kind of helps balance out the heaviness and the lightness of the space. And again, we went with a marble remnant, which of course I love. And this is where the bathroom becomes a little bit more mature because it has a little bit of red, has a little bit of brown, and it adds that contrast with such a light bathroom. And of course, darker accents like the faucet and the mirror and the lighting, again, just adds to the maturity of the space, even though it was designed for the little ones. Welcome to the master bathroom, which is definitely dark, moody, and a little bit spa vibes, or very spa vibes. So the one thing I love about this space is we decided to go with a rich brown, which was definitely a conversation. And it's funny because the day that I was proposing the paint, my client came in with a brown shirt that was the exact same color, and she was just like, yeah, she's like, I'm a brown girl, I love it. So to contrast with our dark and moody paints, we actually, I don't know if you noticed, this is the same marble that's in our kitchen. And this is a really great hack. Whenever you buy marble, especially if it's a little on the pricier side, if you have remnants or even slabs left over, see if you can incorporate into other spaces of your house. And this was perfect because, again, we wanted that high contrast. And of course, custom vanity made out of white oak, just because we love the theme, and bringing the same type of wood throughout your house, whether it's in your kitchen, bathrooms, the dining room, it just makes it cohesive. And I think what I love most about all the custom vanities in this project is that we used the salvage white oak. And using reclaimed materials, sometimes it's really clean, but sometimes it has the texture like this. And you see a little bit of the wear and tear, you see the knots, and it's super smooth to the touch, but it just adds a little bit of that authenticity that I think a lot of people are looking for, especially when they're looking for a unique home. And yeah, I think this vanity kind of checks all the boxes for it just being completely original. My ultimate favorite part about this bathroom is our mirrors. And we, of course, we are very resourceful. We love sustainability here. These are offcuts. What better to use all of these leftover pieces of marble than to add a frame for our mirrors? It's definitely untraditional, but it's classic at the same time. And I think it really adds a little special magic to this particular space. When it comes to the metals and the hardware that we introduced into this bathroom, we went with gunmetal faucets for the sinks, the tubs, and the shower. We have these black fixtures, but of course I need to add a little bit more bling. So we introduced brass, and you can see it in some of the detailing in the hooks, as well as our main lights for this bathroom. And we got these at Rejuvenation because it's probably one of my favorite brands, especially when it comes to new but timeless pieces. So for the shower, I love this space, and I'm kind of low-key like, Rachel, can I come over and take a shower? But we went with Shattered Pearl from Clay Tile. It just adds more texture. It also contrasts with our brown, and honestly, I think it's extremely perfect. We went with slates for the floors, which also adds another contrasting element. And I believe we went with heated floors because my feet feel nice and toasty, which I love. And that concludes the tour and the design reveal of our Ferndale project. This project has been one for the books. I've learned so much, and I feel like my clients, thank you so much for trusting me. Designing someone's home is a collaboration, and it really begins with conversation. And with that conversation, we're really able to create a space that her family can thrive and continue to grow in. So thank you again for watching along, and make sure to subscribe and to follow us on all of our social platforms. And yeah, hopefully we'll be revealing and sharing more interior design projects very, very soon. Take it easy.